finally looks like, the palace are about to kick back. And some people might say this is a very dark day for none other than Meghan Markle, the former cable TV actress, and her brand new communications team, headed, of course, by Meredith Mayne. And this is the real problem. As ever, let me explain. Morning, chums. Welcome back to York. I hope you're keeping well. By the way, we'll have a lovely wave. Yes, are you all right? It's a lovely place here, let me tell you. Now, think about this a few 100 years ago, maybe not that long ago, in fact. Places like this, which is a wonderful market square in the very heart of York, well, they used to have public executions. Yes, public hangings. And apparently people would turn up, so I've got the giggles, people would turn up for the day, bring their lunch and everything and sit there, because there could be up to 15 a day. Imagine that as a day out. I know, you might think it might happen nowadays, wouldn't you, when you look at it? The trouble is, of course, is things are moved on, but what you have to remember is people wanted to make sure that if they did the wrong thing, and in particular there was a lot of treason against the monarchy, things like that, public executions in places like medieval York and beyond were a big hit. And this is really what infiltrated going back to London. You might say the same thing, tenuous link as ever, chums, coming up between, of course, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. Now, it's hard to imagine just how some people might say ill-advised Prince Harry truly is. And this is really, when you think about it, because he came back out of that interview with his father, His Majesty the King, and basically said, that he had a clear conscience and he didn't really care about what he'd written in his book. Remember that. And the thing about the book was, it was revelatory, wasn't it? He told all of these things, but apparently, according to him, no, everybody was happy with it. Forgetting, of course, that he'd said to the BBC, well, some people might not speak to him. You could just put that down in a full box as saying all people, right? Now, the interesting bit is that the palace have now had enough, particularly those that have been at the palace a long time. Now, as you know, Harry recently popped back over to the United Kingdom and did incredibly well, managing to squeeze in 50 minutes plus with his father, a man who he hasn't seen for 18 months. But according to Harry, as he went off on that charitable endeavour that night, the King was great and things were going incredibly well. Less than 24 hours later, of course, a brand new interview splashed out into the little red Guardian newspaper. Now, I always thought this was funny, if I'm honest, because the Guardian are very much not with the monarchy, a little bit like our current British Prime Minister. They flip-flop around, when it's the coronation and good for sales, they suddenly like the royals, and a bit like Keir Starmer, they prefer not to have the royals. But as soon as a Sir's offered, we love them. You see how this works. Now, the bigger problem is this. I would suggest that, without a shadow of a doubt, as Harry talks about the men in grey suits and the problems that are incurring regarding the relationship going on with the monarchy, well, some people might suggest that it's his wife who's his own big paparazzi shot. You see, the detail given to Us Weekly magazine, which is a tabloid international magazine. The sort of thing, chums, that, let's be honest, we all enjoy looking at if you're standing in the supermarket. Don't know about you, I'm too tight to buy them. Tight, by the way, means I'm not prepared to spend the money, but you flick through it, right? I have to explain these because some people say, what does that mean, Neil? Too tight means I'm not opening my wallet, but you all know that, right? Now, when you look at these magazines and you think, right, where's very good detail, excellent detail, where did that come from, right? Well, obviously, this is conversations, one might suggest, and as ever, allegedly with his wife. Now, we know this, don't we? Because Meghan has openly stated in previous interviews things like, Harry lost his father too. We were all a bit shocked because he looked quite healthy to me the last time I checked in to His Majesty the King. But according to Meghan, well, Harry lost his father in all of this. No, he didn't. You decided to dump yours and then he followed suit because many suggest he's a little bit too weak. Either way, the reason why the palace are now hitting back, and this is the reason why you've seen this, where basically Harry issues a statement blaming courtiers and insiders inside the palace, saying that they're jeopardizing this comeback, this great PR stint that he did recently, where he came back to, many suggest, kind of good to fair middle in PR, all thanks to the fact that many, like the Telegraph and the Mail, etc., all decided to offer favourable coverage, meanwhile negative coverage to their far harder working, in my opinion, Prince and Princess of Wales, William and Catherine. But of course, Harry has to have his say. But for now, it looks like they're taking a totally different tact. And according to a very well-placed source inside Buckingham Palace, one that I know well, if Harry and Meghan decide to put out ill truths, then they're going to correct them. This is going to prove very difficult for Harry and Meghan's new communications team, simply because finally it looks like the palace have had enough. Now, between you and I, who do you think instigated that? Neil Sean in the very heart of York.